All right, guys, today I'm going to show you how to get into your online textbook in Close Reader and then how to use that to complete an assignment. So first we're going to go ahead and click on the link that will be attached to your assignment. I'm going to select logging in with Google. It should allow you to log in with your school email address and your school password. And when it does, it'll redirect you to a page that looks like this. And give it a second to load all the way. All right, and once it's loaded all the way, you should be able to see your assignments listed in this area here. What I'm going to tell you is that the assignment due date is always going to be the last day of the quarter, because when I assign you work, in order for it to show up under your assignments, um, it has to be the last day of the quarter. Otherwise, it'll move them into an area that you won't be able to view them anymore. So your due date will be listed for you on Google Classroom. And remember, that's usually going to be the Sunday after it was assigned. All right. So for this one, I would tell you to click on Start. Usually here it says that you should be doing the Abigail Adams Last Act of Defiance. When you click on it, it's going to take you to the last page you were on in your textbook, though. All right, so when the close reader or the textbook opens up, they're going to be in the same kind of window. So up here at the top, you'll see a thing that says Go to Page. So for close reader pages, we need to include CR at the beginning of it to get to it. And in this case, we're going to go to page 29. So I'm going to type in CR29 up there, and then I'm going to hit Go, and it should take me to that page. All right. So I've now loaded up my page, and I need to do a couple things. So first of all, this is a little small, so I want to resize it. So I'm going to come over here to this page view button. Looks a little bit like a TV, and I'm going to use the little slider to make this larger. Now, sometimes I've noticed when it does that, it'll like cut off half the page. To get it to show up properly, what I would suggest you do is to use the next page or previous page button, and it will refresh that page for you. The next thing that you're going to need to know how to do is how to highlight for activities. To do that, you're just going to do a little drag and highlight just like you normally would. But then you're going to click on the little button that'll pop up for you and say add a note. Then you'll have a choice of what color you want to use for your highlighting, and you'll be able to type into the box beneath it to add a note about that. So, for example, if it says in the margin, summarize a situation that concerns atoms, that's where you would do that. All right. So, let's move on to how to answer a question. So, in some of the passages, it's going to give you a part here that asks you to respond to a question and support your answer with explicit textual evidence. To do this, you'll see I can't just type in that box that would normally be on the page for me to write it. But you're going to look for this thing over here that looks like a little question here. So when we click on that, a text box will pop up there for you. Let me minimize this little thing on my screen. And you can type your answer here. In order for your teacher to see it, you have to click off on this little box down here in the left-hand corner underneath it that says My Notebook. All right. So I'm going to put a little check mark there because then my teacher will be able to read my response. All right. And then when you close that window, it'll save it for you. When you're done, you'll need to mark the assignment as done on Google Classroom so that I know it's time to go back in and grade that you're ready for that. All right. If you have any questions, feel free to email me or ask me in class.